Hey, AP Lit class. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about gender roles and their relations to Things Fall Apart. Here I have three quotes and a number of cited works cited that I have here provided. In this story, we learn about Okonkwo and his relationship with his family and his wives, and the interactions between those two, and the interaction in general between men and women. Gender roles actually play a very integral part of the story. My first quote, I'm going to have quotes and then I'm going to have sources that kind of go along with what I'm saying about them. But first and foremost, Okonkwo ruled his household with a heavy hand. His wives, especially the youngest, lived in perpetual fear of his fiery temper. So this kind of shows how his wives were subordinate and he was the dominant figure, and women in general played a subordinate role in society. My link here talks about, sorry, it was exited out for a second. In most African societies, women are literally purchased once they are married because more often than not, marriage involves paying a bride price. Later on, it goes to say, Northern Uganda is made up of a Sudanic stock of peoples that are generally known for violence as a way of life. So related to other African tribes, this is very similar, and domestic violence is very common, hence why his wives are afraid of him. Even as a little boy, he had resented his father's failure and weakness, and even now he still remembered how he had suffered when a playmate had told him that his father was Agbala. That was how Okonkwo first came to know that Agbala was not only another name for a woman, it could also mean a man who was taken no title. So this Agbala in this reference is kind of referencing a spiritual woman, a figure for just a maternal feminine figure. And Okonkwo is ashamed of this. He doesn't want his father to be related to such a thing. It's an embarrassment for him. And this kind of goes along with it, how he's ashamed of his father. Consequently, women have lagged behind men in education, literacy, and access to good jobs. So when his father exhibits similar behavior, of course Okonkwo kind of shames it and puts it down because he wants to believe that men are more dominant and women are more subordinate. The third quote that I have, no matter how prosperous a man was, if he was unable to rule his women and his children, and especially his women, he was not really a man. So I know that marriages are being viewed in another presentation, but I figured that I would at least mention the fact that there was different ways of marriage by capture and by purchase, all of which were rather unfair to the bride, and were just kind of taking a woman and putting her into a subordinate relationship with a man. In this article, it talks about how colonization affects women and how this alienation of land actually impacts women because they become more dominant, more dependent on men, and they rely on men for financial purposes and other things like that. And in this picture shows a very common scene. Women are kind of, since they're so dependent on men, they're left in the household and they have to do household chores and catch other things like that. So again, here's my works cited. Thank you very much for watching.